Hi guys, welcome back to Crawford Farms Entertainment. Today we've got an exciting battle for you. We're going to see what would happen if Krillin were to enter a tournament against all the most powerful beings in the multiverse. So if you haven't already, make sure you click like and subscribe, hit the notification icon. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to do that so that you won't miss anything. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, now this is Krillin talking. I was having a rough day. Krillin, I'm tired of being broke. Maybe you should get a better job, Android 18 said with a hint of frustration in her voice. But I like being a police officer, Krillin responded. It doesn't pay much. If you're going to keep playing cops and robbers, at least enter a tournament or something, 18 responded, sounding annoyed. And that's how it all started. So there I was in a strange universe, set to do battle with the most powerful beings in the multiverse. My first round fight was against this All Might guy. I fought him a few weeks back, and it didn't go so well. He wasn't a very technical fighter, but he caught me off guard with his strength. He beat me last time, but it wasn't happening again. I was ready. We stepped out onto the arena, and I could feel my heart pounding. I was nervous, terrified actually. As I looked across the battlefield, I could see a mountain of muscle brimming with confidence. He was grinning as if something was seriously psychologically wrong with him. What was even more unnerving were his cold, dark, lifeless eyes. "Let's get ready to rumble," shouted the announcer, and the battle commenced. I wasted no time and sprang into action, landing a kick to my opponent's midsection. To my surprise, he was unfazed. He threw a punch and I dodged it. I felt the force of the punch even though he missed me. And I knew that if he had landed one, I was in big trouble. He threw another strike, and this time I dodged it again. As I dodged it, I elbowed him in the back of his neck, causing him to stumble. As he regained his footing, he sprang back towards me. This time, I parried and attempted to land a hook, but he managed to dodge it. Not completely though. I grazed him. To my surprise, I saw a small cut. I had managed to injure him. He wiped the blood from his face, and suddenly, he was no longer smiling. In a fit of rage, he began throwing lightning fast punches at me. I managed to dodge them at first, but they got faster and faster. Eventually, he landed one, and the force was so great that I felt it through my entire body. It almost felt as if I was about to explode as the force of the punch traveled through my entire body. I could feel the lights going out. Was I dying? As I began to fade out, I could see my wife and kids' faces, and it sparked a flame inside my body. I regained my footing and began to power up. All Might stood in shock as my power surged. My goodness, the surge was intense. I imagine it's what it feels like for my friend Goku to go Super Saiyan. Ha! By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. My ki blast knocked him from the stage. I was the winner. I had finally avenged my loss. I had won the battle. But who would I face next? There were rumors of an Asgardian and a Kryptonian that were tearing their way through the bracket. Each of them was significantly more powerful than my first opponent. I thought to myself, do I have what it takes? I had faced and defeated tough opponents before, but these guys were insane. They were in a whole new league. There was this guy, they called him I think it was the Martian Manhunter or something silly like that, who had the power to project thoughts into his opponent's mind. He would have won his first match if his opponent wasn't dumb as a rock. A raging green beast smashed his head in. His mental attack didn't work right off, and the green behemoth knocked him out cold. Apparently the psychic attack did end up working, and the monster reverted back to his base form. A disgusting transformation that horrified the audience. After the transformation, the monster fell asleep in his base form, and it was a dual disqualification. The winner of that bout was set to fight the king of Atlantis, the Submariner. This guy just earned himself a bye into the next round. Now he and I were set to meet up in a quarterfinal match. Our bout was called much faster than I expected. I took my place, and I apologized to all the kids who look up to me for my actions in that moment. But when I saw this guy float down from the sky with his little ankle wings, wearing some green undies, I began to laugh hysterically. I knew the stakes were high, But when I was anxious and anticipating a fierce warrior, but ended up meeting Peter Pan's mutant uncle, it was too much. He didn't appreciate my laughter, and he told me I would pay, yada, yada, yada. Once the battle started, he wasted no time initiating his offense. I was far too busy trying to keep from having another laughing fit to feel threatened by his attacks. His punches didn't faze me, but he was pretty durable, so I was having a hard time determining how much force was too much. Finally, I'd had enough. I needed to end the battle before I started laughing again and got myself disqualified. Plus, there was a squid in the stands that kept eyeing me. I figured he was a fish guy. If I could dehydrate him, I could just push him out of bounds. I hit him with a sick solar flare and left the arena smelling like burnt fish. He fell to the ground and started flopping around like a fish out of water. I was going to just kick him off the stage, but the sight of him flopping around was just so gross. I looked at the ref, and I guess he could tell what I was feeling, so he just called the match and I had won. Next, I would face Thor, the god of thunder, who I thought was just a really, really buffed woman. So guys, thanks for watching. If it's the podcast, thanks for listening. Make sure that you've clicked like and subscribe. We will be coming back next week with the conclusion. Eventually, Krillin's going to work his way through the bracket, and let's see who he ends up facing. Will it be Superman? Will it be Spider-Man? Will it be Batman? We don't know who he's going to face in the finals. Now, this guy manhandled both of his opponents leading up to me. In the first round, he fought this guy in some red and blue spandex. The kid was agile and sneaky, but he was clearly outmatched. Even if he could have figured out some way to overcome Thor's physical attributes, he had no answer for his hammer. The tournament had some pretty wonky rules. Apparently, weapons are allowed. If somebody had told me, I would have borrowed the Z-sword. The hammer was crazy and could do all kinds of tricks. I couldn't figure out if it was AI or if this guy was a really good magician. The little spider kid was quick and landed a lot of blows, but didn't even manage to mess up the hammer man's hair. The match ended with the hammer guy hitting Spider Guy on his big toe. It looked painful enough, but to add insult to injury, the hammer guy just left the hammer on the poor kid's foot. The kid struggled and struggled to move the hammer as he screamed in agony. As strong as the kid was, he could not move the hammer. On the other hand, Blondie was flinging that thing around like it was weightless. What in the world was I up against next? Then in his next round, he beat up a girl. He fought some chick who literally called herself Wonder Woman. The crowd seemed so excited when she stepped out into the field of battle that I thought she had a chance. She had a golden glowing lasso that she could do some pretty cool tricks with. The best was when she roped the hammer guy, Thor. The lasso of truth compels you, she shouted as she had the guy all tied up. I think you're really pretty, and after I beat you, I want to ask you out on a date, he said. He was more truthful than he probably wanted to be, so I could tell the lasso had really worked. How do you plan to beat me, she asked. His response was classic. Before you roped me, I threw my hammer into outer space. It's currently returning to me at such a high rate of speed, you won't be able to dodge it, he said with a smile. The hammer struck her with such force in her gut that she farted, threw up, and sneezed all at the same time. She then passed out and couldn't finish the fight. Thor was the winner and my opponent in the semifinal bout. So there I was standing on the stage ready to do battle. The crowd was going nuts. The atmosphere was simply electric. I won't lie, I was nervous. I hadn't even warmed up that hard, but I was sweating beads. The ref called for Thor to take his place, and crickets. Where was this guy? Did he forfeit? The crowd started to boo him, and the referee was just about to call the match, but just then, there was a crack of thunder. Then this clown drops out of the sky and starts bouncing his muscles around everywhere. I shouted out, "Hey, it ain't that type of show, buddy." At first, I tried to be tough, but let's be real, Thor was on a whole nother level when it came to power. The fight started and he didn't waste any time. He looked big and clumsy, but was surprisingly quick. I dodged and dodged, but the hammer floated up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder and distracted me just long enough for him to land a hit. He hit me so hard that Roshi felt it. Speaking of Roshi, I caught him making goo-goo eyes at Thor, but when he turned around and he realized that he was a dude, the look on his face was priceless. The worst part of the whole fight, the dude managed to score a bullseye on my little pinky toe with his hammer. I'm telling you, it hurt so bad. And then I looked in the stands and I could see the Z Fighter snickering. Yeah, laugh it up, guys. Yamcha and Goten were in the stands having a hearty laugh at my expense. Now I was determined not to become a human pancake, so I had to think fast. The guy was tough. In his current lightning-charged state, I couldn't hurt him. And whatever that metal was on his hammer, it was too hard for me to damage. But I had a plan. I pulled off my ultimate move, the Destructo Disc. I swung it at him with all my might, and it soared through the air like a flying saucer of doom. He dodged it and threw his hammer as a counterattack. But that was what I planned on. My Destructo Disc made a U-turn and headed towards the hammer. You won't believe what happened next. The Destructo Disc sliced right through the handle of Thor's hammer. Mjolnir. Did you hear that? Thor's supposedly unbreakable weapon just got a haircut, courtesy of yours truly. Now that's what I call a killer barber. Mjolnir was now a drop top. Then when the God of Thunder saw that I had decapitated his beloved toy, he fell to his knees and shouted, Mjolnir! Then Yamcha and Goten started laughing even harder. Don't get me wrong, his reaction was funny, and I wanted to laugh too, but not in the guy's face. Well, as you can imagine, Thor was stunned, flabbergasted, and probably a little embarrassed too. With his weapon compromised, I took the opportunity to give Thor a taste of his own medicine. I dodged his lightning strikes, danced around him like a mosquito buzzing in his ear, and managed to land a few solid hits. It was like a dance-off. Without his hammer, he wasn't all that strong, and I finally decided to stop toying with him, and I landed a solid kick to his head and ended the battle. And just like that, my friends, I emerged the victor. Thor may have the muscles and the fancy hammer, but this bald warrior proved that when it comes to fighting, size doesn't matter. Well, except for the size of my pinky toe, because that thing still hurts, and it's throbbing, and it's a bit swollen. Thanks, Thor. After I hopped down from the stage, I found out that Superman had defeated his semifinal opponent, Captain Marvel. Goten came over and whispered in my ear, giggling like a schoolgirl. Look at him over there. He's crying like a baby because he had to beat up a girl. I'm not sure if you guys realize it or not, but teenage Goten is a bit of a jerk. Well, thanks for tuning in. Next time we'll see what happens when Krillin faces off against the Man of Steel. Will it be a mismatch or will he find a way to win? Hi guys, welcome back to Crawford Farms Entertainment. It's me, Krillin, the baddest of the bald, here to tell you the story of my battle with the Man of Steel, Superman. So if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and fasten your seatbelts because we're gonna experience some turbulence here. Okay, so I was face to face with the Man of Steel, and wow, his power level was insane. It didn't fluctuate like Goku or Vegeta, it was just there, all of it. And it was immense. In fact, just trying to sense it was painful. This guy was strong. I'd heard of his heroics and how he had saved the universe, and really would like to get his autograph. He was a true spectacle. I had to snap out of it so that we could do battle, because it was about to go down. I wondered why this legend of a hero was fighting in a tournament, and just before the fight I asked Goten. For whatever reason, the kid had all the gossip and loved to spill it. He told me that Superman was going through a nasty divorce. Lois Lane, his longtime girlfriend turned wife, had dumped him for his best frenemy and teammate, Batman. Apparently, Lois thought Superman was cheating with that Wonder Woman lady that got destroyed earlier in the tournament. So she tried to use Goku, of all people, to make Superman jealous. Well, that plan blew up in Lois's face when Chi-Chi showed up and beat her within an inch of her life. Chi-Chi would have probably killed her if Batman hadn't showed up. Shortly after he showed up as her Dark Knight in shining armor, she ditched the Boy Scout and went with the bad boy. Superman has since been on a mission to reinvent himself. He wants to buy nice cars and fancy clothes, plus Batman's lawyers helped Lois take Superman for all he was worth. So he really needed the money. I couldn't believe I was sitting there gossiping with Goten, but it was an interesting story. I tried to play it off and play off my interest in the story by saying, enough of the gossip, does he have a weakness? He told me,
yeah, something called kryptonite, but whatever you do, don't use your...
His phone rang before he could finish telling me, and the jerk went off and never finished his warning. So that brings us up to speed. I was nervous, more nervous than I had ever been before a battle. It would be like fighting Goku in the tournament at full power if we weren't friends. If things go wrong, this guy could really, really hurt me. Or even worse, I considered dropping out of the match, but I didn't want to hear 18's mouth. The referee told us to take our corners, the bell rang, and we came out swinging. From the very start, it felt like he was toying with me. He was letting me hit him. Plus, he wasn't hitting me all that hard. I could sense his power was probably as strong as Goku's, but it was like he was trying not to hurt me or something. If he wasn't swinging full force, I had no way to gauge his full strength and no way to devise a plan of attack. I had to make him mad. I didn't know enough about his mom for a good yo mama joke, so I had to hit him where it hurts with the only knowledge that I had. I managed to break away from him and use the distance between us and the break in the action to say, "Superman."
What? I'm kinda in the middle of pummeling you.
Okay, I'll let you get back to it, but I'm a huge fan, and I just had some questions, I responded. Now this guy had a super everything, including a super ego. He perked up when I fed him the lie about being a fan.
Okay, citizen. Anything for a fan.
Now I'm a citizen, I thought? Do you have super hearing?
Yes.
Do you have a super sense of smell?
You betcha.
Do you have supervision?
20 million. Ha ha ha.
So that thing with Batman and Lois, why didn't you see that coming? Goten fell out of the stands laughing, and Superman's face turned bright red. At first I thought it was embarrassment, and then I could tell it was pure unfiltered rage. He flew at me at the speed of light. I kid you not. This guy achieved the speed of light and hit me with 1 million punches in the span of no more than a second. It was insane. My ki augmented my durability just enough to withstand it.
How about another joke, Mr. Funny Man? Huh?
He taunted as he rained down punches so fast I had no means of defending them.
You know what? I was gonna take it easy on you and just push you out of the ring, but not now. You know what it's like always holding back? It's exhausting. Exhausting, I tell you.
His voice was cracking, almost as if he was about to cry. He was having a superpowered breakdown, and I was stuck in the middle of it.
I'm gonna hurt you now, man. You hear me, Lois? I'm gonna hurt, and it's all your fault. You too, Bruce. I thought we were friends.
So his psychotic episode was just too much for me, so I was planning to just hop off the stage and let him win the match.
Not so fast, Luthor.
What the heck? Why was he calling me Luthor? He appeared in front of me like something out of a scary movie, blocking my escape.
You thought I wouldn't recognize you?
Huh? Now this clown was hallucinating. He thought I was his arch nemesis, and now I had to fight. I centered myself and powered up. Now that I knew my life was in danger, I knew I couldn't hold back. I was at full power now. The battle intensified and we exchanged titanic blows. I was doing better, but clearly outmatched. Fortunately, he was still kind of holding back until Goten shouted out,
Lois was dating Lex Luthor too.
Suddenly, he unleashed the full breath of his power, every hit nearly killing me. I was weak and had nothing left. In a last-ditch effort to stop him from pounding me, I initiated a solar flare attack. Solar flare! As I was saying it, I could hear Goten scream out,
No!
but it was too late. It was weakened, but it had to work, or I had nothing else to try. Instead of its normal bright yellow, it was weakened and red like a dying star. My goodness, am I dying? I thought to myself. As Superman was bathed in the rays of my red solar flare, I could tell it didn't even slow him down. He flew towards me slowly, almost as if he was toying with me. He cocked back his hand, and I prepared for the worst. I just knew I was a goner. He swung it with all his might, holding nothing back, intent on ending the bout and my life. He was angry and didn't care if the blow was fatal. I didn't have the energy to dodge or the strength to block, so I took it to the face full force. Here it comes. The blow connected, and to my surprise, it was like getting hit by Yamcha or Chi-Chi at worst. What in the world was going on? Suddenly, I could hear Bulma shouting in the distance.
The red solar flare weakened him. Quick, knock him off the stage.
I wasted no time. First, I backhand slapped him for beating on me, and then I kamehameha'd him straight to Ohio. I won? I won the tournament. I had beaten the Man of Steel. It turns out if I had hit him with my full-powered solar flare, I would have been toast. Marin and 18 ran down to the ring to celebrate with me, and so did the rest of the Z Fighters. Goten had to ruin the moment when he said, if you hadn't slipped up and bathed him with your gassed out solar flare, he would have murdered you. As we were celebrating, I saw Superman sitting alone, sulking in defeat. Chile came over and asked me what his deal was. I told her about him, and she never was one for shyness, so she went over and struck up a conversation with him. They hit it off, and they are still dating to this day. As for me, I've always been a background character. Good, but never the best. But in that moment, I was the champion of the multiverse. Oh, and I forgot to mention I did win $1 million from it. And that should keep 18 happy for a while. Well, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you click like and subscribe. Until next time, stay super, continue to be awesome. Hi guys, welcome back to Crawford Farms Entertainment. Today we have an exciting matchup for you. A relative newcomer to our channel, Inuyasha, will take on me, Krillin, the multiversal champion. We will duke it out for an opportunity to take on Naruto in the next video. Who will come out on top? Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss any of our anime content. Okay, I'm gonna shut up right now so we can get it crack-a-lackin'. You guys already know me, so let's take a quick look at our competition and I'll give you a brief overview of my life and accomplishments as well. Deep in the realm of art and imagination, a legendary tale of a unique character named Inuyasha unfolds. This intriguing character hails from a widely acclaimed manga and anime series sharing the same name. An artistic brainchild born from the creative pen lauded by Rumiko Takahashi. The series, revered by legions of fans, first graced the pages of Weekly Shonen Sunday from late fall of 1996, reaching its narrative zenith in the summer of 2008. Inuyasha, the spellbinding protagonist of this tale, is a Hanyo. Did I say that right? The offspring of an unlikely love between an ordinary human woman, Aizayo, and an extraordinary dog demon, Toga. Okay, why can't these guys just have normal names like Vegeta and Bulma? His birthright is a fusion of two opposing worlds, casting him in a turbulent sea of emotional and physical strife, born from an insurmountable rift between human and demon halves. Sounds like a soap opera to me, but I'm intrigued though. Gifted with remarkable abilities far surpassing the realms of human comprehension, Inuyasha boasts superhuman strength and swift agility. His heightened senses and regenerative powers set him apart from mortal beings. Yet the most potent symbol of his power is the Tsusaga, a magical sword forged from the fang of his father. This boy stole his dad's tooth, a weapon of unparalleled power resonating within his grasp. The Tsusaga has an unpredictable nature, transforming Inuyasha into a full-fledged demon depending on his emotional state. This metamorphosis brings forth a surge of raw power, but often at an untenable cost, the loss of his personal control over his actions. The tales of his heroics are filled with staggering feats, from single-handedly staving off hordes of adversaries to defeating powerful demons. His name echoes in the annals of victory. His breathtaking speed surpasses the fastest beings in his universe, while his resilience in the face of grievous injuries, mortal to most, make him a legend in his own right as a character as fascinating as the narrative of his life. As for me, I was once a small round-headed monk at the Orin Temple. I guess you could say I'm defined by my ambition and tenacity. Ever since I started hanging out with Goku and the crew, I left my monastic lifestyle desiring something more and traveled to train with Master Roshi, a decision that significantly changed my destiny. I was initially antagonistic towards Goku. I couldn't stand that boy, but we became the epitome of friends. The rigid, selfish boy that I was transformed into one of the greatest friends that he could have ever asked for. Our camaraderie and friendship helped develop me into the man that I am today. My power, a human touched by the ethereal. My destructo disc, an energy disc that can cut through just about anything, is a testament to my innovation and tenacity. I grew stronger with each battle. With my potential unlocked on Namek by the Grand Elder Guru, this further enhanced my abilities. My tactics in battle often compensate for my lack of raw power, making me a pretty good ally. My notable feats are many. The first was against the mighty foes in the World Martial Arts Tournament, where I proved that courage could compete against innate strength. But my true showcases of power were in high-stakes battles against galactic threats. My fight against the Cybermen and my role in the showdown with Frieza, buying vital time for the Spirit Bomb, stand as towering testaments to my strength and utility. Even in death, several times over, shaped me. It honed my bravery, rekindled my determination, and allowed me to protect those I cherished. Amid gods and aliens, I stood tall, as neither the physical or the emotional traumas shattered my spirit. I'm a small monk, but I had grown, developed, died, and revived to become an ideal blend of power and humanity in a universe teeming with super beings. I underwent remarkable growth, not just in strength, but in character, a true unsung hero of the Dragon Ball storyline. So you're probably wondering why I'm fighting this guy anyway. Well, after I beat Superman in the multiversal martial arts tournament, things were going great. Not only did I get the prize money, but I got a crazy number of endorsements. Man, I was even getting video game deals, and more than just one or two. I was a little worried that Superman might come and try and get me, but I stocked up on those little green rocks, just in case. I actually feel bad for the guy. He has some real debilitating weaknesses. Anyway, like I said, things were going great until all of these knuckleheads came out of the woodworks, wanting to fight me, wanting a piece of old Grandmaster K. Oh, did I mention people started calling me that, right? Grandmaster K, how crazy is that?
You started calling yourself that.
Shut up, Goten. Anyway, this kitty cat guy called me up.
He's a dog.
Goten, I'm not telling you again. Shut up, man. I'm trying to do an interview. So this guy calls me up, says he wants a shot at the champ. I really wanted to be done with this whole fighting thing, but I accidentally answered on speakerphone and 18 was within earshot, so I had to play it tough.
Hello? May I speak to Krillin?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hi, my name is Inuyasha, and I would love to challenge you to an exhibition.
A smart man would have said, nah, I'm good, but I have a friend that loves to fight. I should have passed this battle along. Something happens to a man when he goes full-blown middle-aged dad. So Goku is the exception because he isn't human, right? But for us regular folks, our knees and backs are the first thing to go, and I could tell mine were on their last leg. I just got that, and I wasn't even planning on making a joke. You see that? That was a dad joke. I've been making those more and more lately, which means I should have already retired from active competition. Like I said, I should have passed up the battle, but even as a bald middle-aged dude struggling to hold off on his dad bod, I still act right foolish over females, especially Android 18, my beloved wife. I knew she was too good for me from the very start, so I was always looking for ways to impress her, and this was my chance. So I said, yeah man, I'll fight you. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm going on a butt-kicking tour all around the multiverse. Inuyasha sounded way too cheerful. Great.
Let's make a tournament of it. I have a bunch of guys who will put that cape-wearing dude that you beat earlier to shame.
So it was at about that point that I realized that I had messed up. So here I am in another tournament. My first round was against Inuyasha. Now this guy wasn't bad for the most part. He was keeping up with me, but he was pretty weak. He couldn't even hurt me. I thought to myself, this is my chance to really impress 18. So I started toying with him, dancing around and showed him. He threw a punch and I dodged it, and I did the dreaded I got your nose technique. He lunged at me and I dodged and stuck my foot out. And he tripped over it. As he was going to the ground, I smacked him on his butt. Android 18 seemed impressed, and she was just laughing and clapping. I was being a real jerk. To make matters worse, I gave him a gut punch, When he doubled over, I farted in his face. And it wasn't just regular gas. I think I might have messed myself. It was a bad one, and I felt bad. I planned to put him out of his misery, so I fired a one-handed key blast at him, hoping to just knock him off the stage. Fired it, and to my surprise, he countered with some kind of a whirlwind thing that turned my key blast back at me and almost knocked me off the stage. But it also tore through my gi bottoms, exposing the fact that I actually did leave a skid mark in my undies. I was so embarrassed. I then got angry and then kicked him square in his teeth and was about to knock him off the stage. It looked like he was falling off the stage, but then somebody threw him a sword and he stopped mid-air and then turns into this hideous, slobbing brute of a beast. Now, what in the world was going on? Now, what happened next? I have to say I did deserve it. The guy jumped at me like a rabid squirrel and started pummeling me, but not like with his fist. He started biting and scratching and spanking me with his sword. It was like being attacked by a giant raccoon, and it was starting to hurt. I was bleeding pretty bad. I threw a destructo disc at him, and the dude caught it in his mouth like a frisbee. What was I supposed to do? I had seriously underestimated this guy. He was way more powerful than I was expecting. I had an idea, and it was the only thing I could think of, and it had to work. So I fired up another destructo disc, and I said, "Hey boy, you like this disc?" He sat down and started panting with his tongue out. Sounded like a real dog. I said, "Here, fetch." And I threw the disc right out of bounds, and the beast happily followed. I had won the battle, but I was badly in need of a sensu bean. My goodness, was this a bad idea? Who in the world would I face next? And it was too late to forfeit because Android 18 was looking right at me. 2 men in a 1 man lead, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see. 2 men in a 1 man lead, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see. Man, holla at your boy, Krillin with a K. Villains I would slay. 18, that's my bae. Keep seeking, destruct those discs. Your boy really can't miss. Champion of the multiverse. Talking smack, I hit you where it hurts. I'm the best cause I put in the work. Peanut head, now almond joy. Now you on the ground cause I said, sit boy, you kitty man. Hello kitty, you too slow, you can't even hit me. I'm too fast, I left y'all busy. 2 men in a 1 man leaves, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see. 2 men in a 1 man leaves, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time with a K. About to take a L, this fang blade might send you straight to. Oh well, I'ma do your worst, then freeze it dead. Send you to Ohio and raise your kid, and take 18 for a spin in my drop top Benz. Inuyasha for the win. You talk too much, that's your sin. Send your bald head to your next of kin. I'm immortal, fool, I can't be beat. Shut your mouth and taste defeat. 2 men in a 1 man leaves, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see. 2 men in a 1 man leaves, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see. Whoa, bruh, what you mean? Kagome's like 15? Man, you should be in jail. You mangy mutt with no tail. Look, Scooby-Doo, you bound to lose in your Hillary Clinton pantsuit. Barefoot, cause shoes you can't afford. Looking like a broke meow with a sword. You about to make me rich. Hey, if your dad's a dog, does that make you my... Whoa, don't even go there. Don't say that. Don't even say it, girl. 2 men in a 1 man leaves, to 1 to win, to 1 defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat.
best? It's time to see. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. The one that wins, the one defeat. Gotta go hard, no retreat. Who's the best? It's time to see.